Yesterday afternoon, we got sad news in the world of comedy. A famous comedian, Ron Sexton, aka Donnie Baker, had died. He was 52 years old. Didn't give a cause of death, but he was a frequent contributor on the Bob and Tom radio show that used to be on X-Rock before they took it off the air. But you could still listen to the show on their app. Donnie Baker was a frequent guest on the show for over 20 years, and he would do voice impersonations also. And he was known for doing Ron Sexton was known for doing the voice to Donnie Baker, Floyd the Trucker, Kenny Tarmac. Kenny Tarmac was a very funny character in the aspect of the Kenny Tarmac character basically would call in, and he was supposed to be like the obnoxious person that you would hear at an airport. Basically, the character was based on people at the airport where they would talk loud, and basically you could hear every fucking conversation that they had. Donnie Baker was the most memorable one he did, and Donnie Baker was the moronic idiot person, basically, who would always say words wrong, and he would add an S at the end of words that didn't have an S at the end of it, and then if the word did have an S at the end, then he'd leave the letter off. And then he did Floyd the Trucker, and Floyd the Trucker was I don't know how you would describe that one. And then he also did the voice to Babe Ruth, and of course, and he would there was like so many damn characters that he did the voice to, and he was on tour when he died. It kind of sucks, and there was no cause of death, but at 52, it could be anything. And this was a shocking one for me too, because another frequent guest that was on Bob and Tom had died 10 years ago too, and that was Tim Wilson, and that was unexpected. On that, I don't know if you would call that unexpected, but Tim Wilson was a big contributor too, and now Donnie Baker is now basically, and Tom Griswold, who does the Bob and Tom show, basically gave a moving tribute to Donnie Baker. When they announced his death yesterday, he basically said that he will be missed, and that basically to give the family the privacy that they need during this grieving time. And I've always liked Donnie Baker because he was like this funny character, and he was always going at it with his boss Randy on the damn phone, and Donnie Baker is not only supposed to be like this moronic idiot character, but he's also supposed to be like this lazy person at the job office. And he's trying to claim, oh, I bust my butt for this wage. And then then you hear the manager in the background. He's like, Donnie, what are you doing? He's like, this is your 5th break already. And basically trying to insinuate that the guy took more breaks than he did working. But he will be missed. And I loved the character Donnie Baker. But that Bob and Tom show has been on the air for like over 40 years. They basically it started off with two guys. And their just names happen to be Bob and Tom Griswold and Bob Coboyan, and Bob Coboyan retired. And then eventually they brought in 2 additional people, Chick McGee and Christy Lee. And then eventually the show was on the air, and then they took it off the air after Bob retired. Bob retired basically a few years back, and then basically they brought in another guy to fill his place, and the show just wasn't the same. And then they took it off the air, but like I said, they do have an app where you can listen to all the comedians, and you'll still hear Donnie Baker's voice occasionally on the app. Also, the character Donnie Baker has its own Pandora page. So if you basically go to the Pandora station, and you could create your station, so you can create the Ron Sexton stations like Donnie Baker and Kenny Tarmac and the other one, Floyd the Trucker, and basically just listen to all the comedy segments that Ronnie Sexton had did. But I was actually shocked by this. I came flying out the room and told my mom that Donnie Baker had died. And she's like, what? I'm like, yeah. And I was shocked by that. But he was a frequent guest on that show for over 20 years. So basically, That's a sad loss for comedy today. But if you like the video, give the video a like and subscribe to my channel, RBW King. You can also hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified when a new video comes out. You can go ahead and leave a comment and let me know what you think. And also, if you want to support my work even further, you can donate to my Patreon link, which you can find in the About section of YouTube. And for just as little as a few bucks a video or a month, your donation can help go a long way, and thanks for listening.